So when we talk about general advertising versus direct response, let me break that down. So general advertising, like with a company like Coca-Cola, you may see the ad, it's talking about Coca-Cola, maybe a polar bear or something like that. But it's just general advertising. So they're just generally making you aware of what they offer, as opposed to direct response, you're getting people to actually take an action. So if you ever see like an infomercial or like something where they're selling like a specific product or service, what do you always see? Call this phone number now. Click to our website. Get one of the first free and sign up or something like that. You're getting someone to actually take an action. So if you're ever up late night and you want to be a student of marketing, check out some of those infomercials, and they are literally a school of like how you do direct response marketing. They're trying to get you to actually take an action so they can move you to the next step. Majority of the time, it is probably just collecting your contact information. You ever call somewhere and as soon as you call there, you probably never called there before. And they always say, well, who am I speaking to? What's your name? Can we get a good phone number for you? Can we get a good email to respond back to you? That is direct response, as opposed to you just calling and then they just ask you for whatever they want to ask you. So another great example, especially for all my service-based businesses or brick and mortar companies. You don't know how many companies that I call and I just may ask a general question and they answer the phone, they give me an answer and they hang up right away. What you should do is, let's say it's like a car dealer to say, well, do you have a part for my 2025 Nissan or something like that? So most people will be like, well, let me check and see if we have the part, yes or no, let me check with the service department. What you should say is, I'll check, but we have this free raffle that we're doing about a free trip to Miami. Why don't you give us a good name, email, phone number, we can put you in our raffle so you can win you can be potentially win our free trip that we're giving away at the end of the month. Direct response as opposed to just giving general information. Why is that important? Because most of the people that interact with you for the first time will not buy. So we need to collect their information. We need to nurture them. We need to follow up with them. We need to text them. We need to call them. We need to email them. That is how you move more people to the sale, as opposed to letting someone come into your business virtually or in person. They come in, they check around, they look at stuff, they walk right out the door, and you didn't collect their information. So that's direct response marketing. Unless you are one of the huge companies, a huge corporation, you can afford to do general advertising. If you're not, if you're bootstrapping, if you're funding this yourself, if you don't have a lot of capital to work with, make sure you do direct response. It will take you a long way in your business.